Okay, so first off, I just want to say welcome because I think I'm gonna end up posting this video. But yeah, I had a very what I feel significant dream um regarding three snakes, right? And the second snake that I saw looks like Oshumare or Oshumare, who is in Orisha and is connected to both androgynous or the masculine and divine feminine energies as one. Rainbows, which they say is a snake stretched across the sky in different colors. And that deity is also um, related to prosperity and wealth. Okay. So um, I've been, I even looked up, snakes I know is very scorpionic, Plutonian, even type energy as far as it relates to astrological information. So what I did was I'm like, I gotta figure out what's going on with the dream, right? So what I did was I just had a need to come and do a divination regarding this dream. Now I usually do a transformation spread to see what's changing. The snakes do represent, the Kundalini experiences, which signify change, transformation, and also possibly sex as well, which is another form of magic, calling in spirits, calling in energy to come in, right? And because it was three of them, you got this trying card here. Because it was three of them, three is related to the planet Jupiter, which is about higher knowledge, higher learning. You know, um, it is the ultimate God, goddess energy as well, and wisdom, faith, right? So at the bottom of this deck, I have Saturn Truth, number 6, right? So what's being transformed? We have Aquarius, I know. And then we have what's supporting the transformation is destiny. Okay. And the challenge here, Neptune, the first thing I got was illusions, getting rid of illusions, right? That's going to be the challenge. Detaching from fantasies or specified outcomes regarding situations that are not even related, but were created out of self protection, self pity, or just um, just ego, probably just plain on ego. So sacrificing here would be you choosing to let go or release whatever fascination or thought process that you have connected with the emotion in regards to transformation or even sex plainly. Okay. And then we have here the spiritual lesson is creativity. The fifth house is also connected to sexual um, relations. Or most specifically love making. Okay. Love making is fifth house activity. And then the sign of progress at the end here is the blessings, right? We have the blessings. So I wanted to use the Sorisha deck because Oshumare is in here, but it basically was like, the energy said to use oracles. So what I'm going to do is try to find, and he's right here. He is she right here. This was the snake in my dream as well. Okay. The last one was purple and iridescent. I was at a river with a group of people, and it was mostly women, and they were saying how basically we're like out of town somewhere at this river. I'm like, no, I was actually like at home, my old childhood home, which may be also significant, 4 for 4 o'clock. But it was a river, and I saw the purple snake, and they were all running from it, and I walked closer to see the colors. It was the colors that was just like, ooh, it's so pretty. but I know it can skate across this water pretty fast, so I'm not gonna trigger it. But at the same time, it was like, yeah, like I like this. It's so pretty. And then a Taurus that I know called out to me and said, it's a wave coming in. It's a wave coming in. And naturally, in the 3D realm, though, where I grew up in the industrial zone on the east side of the city is there's no water over there. Okay, there's no water over there. But the street that I grew up, it was another like a side street in between where the block I lived on and then another block. But that street in between was a river. And where the other block and like my auntie house where it used to be and all that um, was a wave coming in from that angle. And the sun was on that side as well. And I remember saying, like, it's so pretty. The water was so pretty. And I was like, okay, I need to get to higher ground. So I turned around and grabbed a tree. As soon as I grabbed the tree to hold on while the wave came in, is when I woke up. And that was the last snake I saw. The next snake I saw looked like Oshumari. And then the first snake that I saw, it was a dark color. I think it was more like green. It was more like a green color. But it was just like, okay. And then I saw the second one was like, okay. And then I woke up and then I went back to sleep and saw the third one. So I was like, okay, interesting. Very interesting. So what I want to use to clarify this is actually tarot. I need the oracles first, like they said. And then maybe I can get into these if they let me. All right. So let's go ahead and clarify this transformation reading. I gotta hurry up because I got class. I gotta get ready for it. All right. So what we know is being transformed, right? Because this is the truth. Basically, we're getting down to the nitty gritty, which is the truth, right? We're getting down to the truth. That's the overall purpose of what this dream is trying to explain, is getting to the truth, being honest, being transparent, right? The number 6 is correlated with responsibility, health, being disciplined, and giving and receiving. Okay. The truth is, there may have been in the past, or there may be even now, um, a lack of giving and receiving that is balanced. 6 is a number of balance as well. So, what we know is being transformed through destiny. Okay. Which is why you have to let go of some of the illusions that you have had or have been holding on to regarding, sex transformation changes, or the Kundalini experience itself, which is Saturn is what holds the energy. Saturn is what allows energy to go up and come back down. If Saturn has that energy blocked, it's for a reason. Okay. So that could definitely be why this is taking place. Is like the truth is you're being blocked right now, so you can learn a lesson which will allow it to flow. Okay. And the lesson here is, creativity. This is the house of fun. Like I said, love making as well. Children, things that you create. It's a lot of things. I actually want to go get my book so I can read it off. And then you got the Grand Trine blessing. So let's just take it from the top. Right off the dome. Let me split this again. I think I did split it, but because I don't necessarily remember in my present self, I'm about to jump and pick that up. Okay. So we have the Page of Pentacles. So this is basically an offer. You're being offered something. Pentacles is earth, so it's being offered something materially. Destiny, we have scorpionic energy. You're meant you're meant to have this change and transformation. A little birdie told me. A little birdie told me. Okay, she got the 6. Which cuts through things, right? Gets rid of what's dead and what's no longer viable, right? So you have the opportunity with destiny to get rid of some things that you no longer need, that all too well, but it's not serving you, right? So Neptune, we have the Chariot, okay, victory, forward movement, having the balance of the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. What's being sacrificed here? I feel like with the Cancer card being here, and Cancer is more of a heart-centered love, soft, gentle energy, very psychic, but okay. We got the Three of Cups. Okay, so I feel like this has a lot to do with getting rid of or sacrificing this emotional attachment to things being not what they seem when you see love or relationships or even sexual relationships, do you automatically take that as a sign that someone else is going to have sex with my partner? Someone is going to try to have sex with me? Am I going to be able to deal or handle this um, dynamic? Do you have issues when it comes to your sexuality, the sexual stamina of yourself or another person? Do you feel like you'll be able to measure up to meet the needs of the sexual partner you desire to have? Do you feel like you question whether or not you're sexually appeasing to the person that you want, or if they will, or if at some point it's going to end, with you being in a third party situation? Like, can you get rid of any of those that basically bring down your libido, that take away the quality of your sexual life? Can you get rid of those things? Can you sacrifice those things? Because it's all an illusion, right? And just because you know and have experienced those things in reality does not mean you're destined to repeat them. But if you keep replaying it over and over and having an emotional attachment to being in all these third party situations, you're going to keep manifesting, right? So, moving on to fifth house, we have here the Eight of Swords. Yeah. All right. The reason why you can't have the sexual life or the sexual relationship status or the love making relationship, the love affair that you truly, truly desire is because you're holding yourself back from believing it actually exists. You may be holding yourself back from believing that it could actually be possible in this lifetime, regardless of age, distance, economic status, whatever. That has no bearing or boundary on how open you can be to receiving the love that you deserve, desire, and quite frankly need, in order for you to learn how creative your energy actually is. And sex in itself, regardless of, you know, your, sexuality, that you choose to have, it can still be something that's so fulfilling and over the top amazing, to the point where your whole goal or your whole purpose in that relationship, in that partnership, in that, divination ceremony is to unlock parts of yourself that you have never touched before. And it's not just for one, it's for both. Okay, this is Gemini energy as well, related to mercurial energy and the number five. So this has a lot to do, and this is fifth house, right? This has a lot to also do with your magic. How do you call in what it is that you desire to have? Do you use sexual magic when you are, in a love making zone? This is not some hot pop, get it done, quickie, you know, sneaky link type deal. This is something that's way bigger and deeper. And Spirit is asking, like, truthfully, you need to get rid of that, storyline in your head that you're a sneaky link, or you only deserve to be in sneaky link situations or side piece situations, or and that could have been manifested based on, from even what I know from my own lineages, you know being in the womb of a woman who was put in a position of playing number two, or being in a position of a woman who's number one but having to deal with a number two or number three or whatever, right? So all of that could easily been passed down through like these cups from this woman to this woman to this woman, and now it's spilling all over to you. And the Cancer is the mother, right? Right, and Neptune is like the grandmother energy, right? So this is something that runs deep in your bloodline. And even going back further than that, we've been in such a shamble when it comes to knowing indigenous culture, African culture, and all those in between. I mean, shout out to Voodoo Heritage Month. Like for real, for where we've been taught to, not protect ourselves, not defend ourselves, and allow ourselves to be ran over by some illusionist concept that we're undeserving of the love, the care, the respect that our families deserved, and being, kind of like disintegrated in that type of way does knock us down a few notches when it comes to self-worth. And that's just on a, you know, on a DNA level. And we're reversing that, right? The death card is the destiny to get rid of that by any means necessary. So there's nothing wrong with polygamy or polyamorous relationships when they're being conducted with love, care, respect, compassion, and the focus is to grow a community, not just to misuse the art of, relations as a tool to magnify the ego, whether male or female, not to exploit someone or exploit the act in itself. That's just wrong. So we're moving out of this energy. Can I get one more for this? Yes, 9 of Cups. Okay. So the choice of walking away from limiting your creativity or your ability to transform yourself into the ultimate sunshine of your life, when you allowed that to happen and you just walk through what you may think is the valley of the shadows of death. It's actually you being attuned, like animal in the animal spirit, that the rattlesnake comes out when it's like, okay, you're going through these hurdles because you're being initiated. Okay, this is an initiation into you being a healer, whatever healer you're meant to be, even if it's just to heal yourself, Chiron, so that you can exchange that healing with other people in your environment that you run into. So, lastly, we have Grand Trine Blessings. Ooh, look at that. Look at her. Look at her. The High Priestess, right? The blessing here is ultimately being able to know and see the unknown. Um, And then we got justice at the bottom. Yes, the truth. Justice and well, this is Libra energy, right? And then these two go together very, very well. Okay. Things are being rectified on your behalf. As long as you know the truth, then you can see that the balance is coming. If you're hiding from the truth, denying the truth, then all of this correction that's taking place is going to be futile, because you're going to think you're being, put into an unjust situation when actually things are being made right for you. That's why you have to let go of this notion of feeling like you have to share your love or share your intense, you know, psychic, sexual, chemistry with the world because of what you did in the past, or because the person you may end up with, you know, you're not sure if they're going to be loyal to you or not. And a fixed sign is loyal, baby. Fixed signs are loyal. Okay. Not every Scorpio, I'm not saying that because I even feel the type of way about Libra and Cancer. But I mean, hey, fixed signs, Leo energy, Scorpio energy here, you know what I'm saying, are loyal. So when you're fixated, grounded, even Page of Pentacles, when you start to ground yourself in what you know to be true about you and what you desire and what you want to cultivate in your life, it kind of becomes easier to constantly get rid of things that you know don't match your destiny. It doesn't match the path that you're on, and it doesn't have to be only related to relations and intimacy with another person. This is about you first and foremost, and it will always be about you first and foremost. And I think that's where we kind of get lost in communication when it comes to this topic in itself, is that we always try to correlate, you know, how good we feel and what we receive based on what another person is doing. But you're the person that have to unlock that truth and unlock that, you know, buildup of emotions that's just been sitting in your sacral energy that needs to be released. You have to tap into that energy first and unlock that creativity within you before you can actually feel that emotional satisfaction. Because that area or that place or space in your body is where all of, you know, the divine information, the divine communication is coming from that space. And looking at it as a blessing and not a card to buy things or or a belt to, you know, whip somebody into shape. Or when you start looking at it as a blessing, a divine gift that was given to you for you to use intuitively to tap into things beyond the physical. And then when you co-create that with another person, you're not only tapping into your messages beyond the veil, you're tapping into someone else's messages behind the veil as well, right? So that does come with being very choosy, picky, you know, having standards, setting boundaries, you know, and being honest, being absolutely truthful for what you feel is the right thing for you. If we give everything to, you know, a society or another person to make those decisions for us, it's going to be futile in the end. And a lot of us have, you know, known or have personally experienced, you know, warning, some type of SA in our lifetime, which also, again, going back to that DNA structure of the past and how we were forced to, you know, mutilate ourselves by co-creating with, you know, persons that, you know, we did not deem, you know, worthy, or even the situation was just not right. Intuitively, we knew that. And to have that trickle down through, you know, centuries, um, and see it play out in our reality as just, you know, immorality at its finest. We have the ability to rewrite that story, starting with our own personal journey and allowing ourselves to think outside the box that we've been living in, thinking that this is the only thing we have to offer based on what social media says. So I'm going to leave it there because my eyes got to get ready for class. I do want to, let's look at this death card, student. Okay, so with the death card, we have here the Six of Earth and the Ten of Fire. Okay. Look at that. This is that giving and receiving energy here. But it's in the reality, physical reality. It's Earth, right? And then we got this Ten of Fire here. Like once you get through whatever developmental stage that you're in with yourself, it's going to be like literally 10 times worth whatever you've been through in the past. Just allow it to actually happen and take place, right? And don't be afraid of it. Okay. At the bottom of here, we have another 10 here, the 10 of Cups, and the Five of Air, which was also down here. So we have Pisces and Aquarian energy here. Okay. And I also want to say too, what you may find to be fulfilling of your wishes and your dreams regarding this topic, or just you having a complete dedicated relationship with the divine and what it offers you, there will be people who will scrutinize that relationship, who will find fault in you taking on the relationship that you have chosen to be in. There will be people who will comment against that, who will try to hurl insults at that in order to make you feel uncomfortable with your joy, your happiness, your wish fulfillment, your dream come true. And just remember, at the bottom, we have truth and justice. Okay? This is your truth and this is your justice. Okay? So, yeah, let them hoes talk. All right, and thank you so much for tuning into this message. I hope it finds you well. All right, have a great, eclipse season. And whenever this message finds you, just know that you're worth more than what your physical body can offer you, because the flesh suit is the last thing in your creation. Okay? The soul is beyond more than you can ever use your physical senses to understand, which is why it's so expansive. So look to that more than what you can physically offer in this life to be the basis on how you make decisions. We are a spiritual experience first and a human last. Think of everything in that order. All right.